This episode of Attack on Titan brings the thunder! Greetings, my friends! Attack on Titan returns for another super exciting episode, which is channeling the energy of the first two seasons of the renowned series. This was a really fun episode, as we finally got to see Eren having a big rematch with Reiner Braun, and it's everything that I could have possibly wanted. Basically, just a big, no-holds-barred kaiju battle, and it was awesome. We also got to see that the Survey Corps actually have a brand new weapon, the Thunder Spears. These giant weapons, which are essentially long spears which can explode, and they're specifically designed to take down the Armored Titan. They know how much of a threat Reiner is with his ability to armor his body and to basically linebacker his way through giant walls, so they're going to have to take him down. This was a pretty classic episode in that, one, it was action-packed, it had great production value, but it was also full of that amazing strategic development that I love from the show. They always come up with these amazingly detailed strategies, and this episode actually managed to do what a lot of anime series do. They show you sort of like a play-by-play of how everything's going to work, and they do it with goofy, chibi characters, which in some ways honestly don't seem to mix with Attack on Titan all that well. But now that I think about it, there was the entire spin-off series of the Attack on Titan characters in junior high, so, I mean, there is that, so I guess it doesn't really feel all that out of the realm of possibility to use a little bit of humor amidst all of the grisly murder and destruction. But this episode was also incredibly tense, as we were just wondering, when is Bertholdt going to appear? When's that Colossal Titan going to make his appearance? When is the Beast Titan finally going to attack? And what's the deal with the Titans who are carrying luggage on their back? I mean, what is up with that? There is this weird thing going on where the Beast Titan has these Titans that are right next to him, which seem to have all of these things on their back, which is some sort of weapon of some sort, and it really confounds all of the members of the Survey Corps. They have no idea what they're going to be capable of, and the implication, of course, is that these Titans are a little more intelligent than the other ones. Either that or the Beast Titan inherently has some way of being able to control them, which means he's very similar to Eren and his coordinate Titan abilities of being able to control all these Titans. I mean, would it not be possible for Eren to just sort of like jump over the wall and start controlling all of those Titans and make them start fighting the Beast Titan? Can only he control them? There's a lot of questions here, but you immediately forget about that once you see Eren beating the fuck out of Reiner in this episode, and it is awesome. I especially love the way that Eren fights now, because now that he can use his hardening abilities, he can apply that to different parts of his body, in particular, his freaking fists. He can basically transform them into like brass knuckles covered with that diamond-like material, which he uses to jack Reiner right in the jaw a couple of good times. There's a lot of great slow-mo punches in this episode, which are great, and we even get to see the characters grappling yet again, which is always really exciting to see. But most of this episode is a build-up to seeing the brand new weapon of the Thunder Spears, which, like I said, are these long, spiky spears, which they're going to fire into the neck of Reiner, which are eventually going to explode. And they use them to great effect in this episode, as throughout most of it, they're waiting for Eren to sort of create an opening for this to happen. And at the end, they just plug his neck full of tons of these things, leading to a massive explosion, which could very well kill Reiner at this moment. In fact, in the final big explosive moment where he gets hit by multiples of these things, it ends on a to-be-continued screen. Something that the series has always been known for doing at the most crucial of moments, and man, I wouldn't be lying if I just yelled out, "God damn, why didn't we get to see what happens next?" It's the type of hook that I really love that anime series do. It gets my butt in the seat next week to want to watch the next episode. I don't know if Reiner's gonna go out like this. I have a feeling that if he were going to die, it would be in a more blaze of glory fashion, and I'm still just waiting for Bertholdt to show up, so I don't know what's really going to happen here, but it was a really solid moment. So what's the rundown on this episode of Attack on Titan? Another really awesome episode which was high on the action. I said it in my last review, I really think that this is starting to feel more like the classic Attack on Titan, which I honestly don't think is a bad thing. It's just continuing to be incredibly incredibly high octane with its action, and it doesn't look like it's going to be ending anytime soon. The first 2 episodes alone have just been stellar in terms of the action that they're actually delivering here, and this episode was also great because we finally got to see more Titan on Titan action, which seems like it's diminished a lot, especially after the last season, and I've been just waiting for that big rematch between Eren and Reiner. I mean, they show it in the intro, we get to see it happen in this episode, and it's incredibly satisfying. One of the best things about this series, I really think, is just the attention to detail when it comes to destruction. I know that's a minor thing to think about, but it kind of reminds me like when I'm watching a Godzilla movie or a kaiju scene. Like, there's so much attention to detail. When they're punching the ground, when they hit a building, you can see all of the shingles just exploding off of the roof. It's little things like that that make you realize that these are 2 giant monsters that are beating the fuck out of each other, and that is awesome. It's something that they've always done really well, and the fact that they a lot of the times like to show these Titans from a low angle, which again just makes them seem all the more massive and destructive. If I only had one complaint about this episode, and this one is kind of superficial on my part and kind of goes against what I was saying earlier, is that while I do like the strategy, there are times when I think they spend way too much time explaining things, and I would rather they just show us than try to explain things to us. I mean, most of this episode was dedicated to Reiner trying to figure out what exactly is going on here, especially with them trying to trick them into getting Eren to think like he's going to escape so that they can lure him away. The entire plan was that he was going to kill all of the horses and stop them so that they could not actually escape from this place, but they used Eren as bait, and he even knew that he was going to be bait, and he still went after him anyways. It probably would have been a lot smarter to kill those horses, but again, Reiner also seems to have a little bit of a grudge against Eren as well. Also, just how cool is that one scene where he was explaining how he was able to save his body when he got stabbed in the neck, how he actually connected to the Titan body just in time at that moment, just so that it wouldn't actually, like, sever his neck? That's cool attention to detail right there. But like I said, I think they get really bogged down in kind of like the explanations of things that they're actually going to do. Just show us. I think that's really all we want to see, and luckily they do get to show all of that. It was a little slow in some regards to that, but still I found this to be a pretty entertaining and awesome episode. Also, I think one of the best things about the show, and something that I think everyone has loved from the beginning, is watching the characters fly around in their ODM gear. It always looks cool. It's like Spider-Man on crack. I've seen it like a million times at this point, but every single time it happens, I just get jacked up and excited. It's one of the coolest animation moments of the series, and watching those characters fly through at the end of the episode and fire those thunder spears directly into Reiner's neck was incredibly satisfying and just so damned awesome. I loved it, and I loved this episode. I don't think it was perfect, and even some of the animation was a little wonky at times. But for the most part, this is a classic Attack on Titan, and if it's what you liked from the first couple of seasons, I think you're definitely going to get something to enjoy from this episode, which is why I'm going to drop a 4 out of 5 on this episode. Check it out, my friends. If any of you did watch the episode, tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below, and what you hope to see from the rest of Attack on Titan. Thank you all for watching this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down, baby.